Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Shay Mama, right? And I'm back with another video. And guys, the biggest thing I could say is, like right now, if you're experiencing a weakness or you're going through something that you're normally good at. So there's a lot of areas that I'm good at in my life. Like I'm good at investing. I'm good at finances. I'm good at just being responsible. There's some areas in your life that you're extremely good at. Good because you want to be good, because you're strong in those areas. But there are seasons of life where God allows you to not be so strong in the areas that you're strong in. He'll allow it to become a weakness for you so that you no longer have control of the situation, so that you can rely on God for your needs, no longer relying on the thing that you use that you've been using, or the thing that you've been using as a coping mechanism or a vice. And the strengths that became weaknesses are the things that God want to help you in the most. I always say people consider our strengths, but our strengths are actually our greatest weaknesses, because those are the things that we sometimes people have things they're really good at and they don't feel the need to practice. They're just like, I'm so good at this, I don't need to improve. I'm already great at this, right? And then you got those people who are always really only focusing on the things they're strong in and the things that they're good at, that they spend no time working on the things they're weak in, right? You can't neglect or negate the fact that if you have a weakness or you have a problem, that you have to, at some point deal with it, solve it. Because if you neglect it and you allow it to build up over a time period, it becomes a great storm in your life. Sometimes the things you're not facing, the things you're not dealing with, are the things that you allow to build up, and you've known for a time period that you should deal with these things. God is using our weaknesses for His glory, because He knows that He can do something different than what you believe you can do for it. And the things that you're believing for, He has greater in store than what you can think of. So in our times of weakness, in our moments of downfall, right, we have to think about what God wants to do in our lives rather than what we're doing, right? It's good to know your vision. It's good to know your purpose. It's good to know your plans. But always think about what God wants as well. When you're experiencing moments of downfall, or experiencing spiritual attacks or attacks in your life, or moments in your life where you're falling short, think about what it's teaching you. Think about the lesson in it. Think about what you're learning about yourself during this experience, and what is the blessing behind all of this. In our moments of weakness, we sometimes really are very hard on ourselves. We're very critical. We say ugly things that aren't true, aren't half of what aren't even really a fact, right? Because it's not what God says about us. It's not what God thinks about us. It's what we think about ourselves. It's what others thought about us and projected onto us. And if we hold on to the acceptance and rejection of others, we'll always walk in the acceptance and rejection of how others feel about themselves through our own lives. But if we think of it in the way that God wants us to, we'll always know that we're loved, we're accepted. Despite our mistakes, we have a Father that unconditionally loves us, despite what we've done, despite what we've been through. So in this season of weakness, allow God to be your strength. And if you're struggling in any area, don't hesitate to ask God. I know we all fallen short from the grace and the glory of God, or the grace of God and the mercy of God. But in all that, you can ask forgiveness. In all that, you can turn back. In all that, you can invite God into your situation and allow God to really work and use your life as His glory, His testimony, and His story. God is the author of our story and the finisher of the book. He's the starter of our faith and the finish thereof. So if there's a story that started with you and God wants to continue the story, continue to use it, continue to show up in the areas of your life. The way God showed up last season is not the same way He'll show up this season. They always say, don't be where God was, be where God is. Move with God. Know God's moving. Know things are changing. Things are not going to be the same. Don't expect how you're good in one area, one season. You could be good at finances. You can be good at investing. I'm good at these things, right? I'm good at motivation. I'm good at all these things, but that doesn't mean I won't struggle with those things in one season because I'm great at it. That don't mean God won't allow those things to become a weakness. Usually the things that you're really supposed to be powerful in are the things that you're going to fall weak in. And the things that you're most strongly in are the things that they are your weaknesses on the other hand. So strengths are really your weaknesses, and weaknesses really are your strength, because in your weakness, God is your strength. And in your strengths, you are weak because you truly believe that you're strong and you're operating from your own strength in that sense. But know that God is with you despite what your weaknesses are, and despite what you're going through. God is the strength that you need in this time. And if you need a helping hand, always lean on God.